sucks when you're over in Hamilton. Hamilton roads actually generally as a whole suck. You know, they've got roads that have been not, like we have a the Canadian Automobile Club, same as the AA in England or the AAA in the US. They have a competition for the worst road in Ontario, and you know, it's usually a battle between a couple roads in Toronto and a whole crap load of them in Hamilton. And most of the time Toronto wins simply because it's a larger population, but Hamilton's had a couple roads that were like just 5-star winners of the worst roads. One of them I actually used to drive to work on all the time. Nice day for a change. Yesterday well, it actually rained yesterday, something fierce, and the day before it was really nice, but they warned us that the rain was coming in the afternoon, and actually like it was the Monday I was actually planning on coming out here to do the road, and I was just getting ready and I looked off the distance and I could see like the clouds getting sort of overcast and a few dark blue clouds, and I went, well, it's gonna suck for the camera. And I got this friend named Murphy, and I'm pretty certain the furthest I get away from home is where I'm gonna be when the rain hits. So I decided to give it a pass, and it just looked crappy all that Monday afternoon, and then of course Tuesday it just poured. Now right here is St. George. And St. George would be the equivalent of Linden, in the sense it was sort of like the headquarters for a farming community in the area. So the farmers would go in there. There was rail line connections and whatnot, so they could, you know, get their crops off the market and whatnot. Because you have to remember is that most of the transportation of crops back in the 1800s was by rail. That was the only way to get it done in volume. Sort of take for granted all these roads. The fact that they're all you know, paved or asphalted or tarmac, depending on what country you're in. Even up until the 1970s, there was a lot of these roads that were still gravel. Because you know, you used to drive out here with my buddy when he was looking to buy a used car and whatnot. It was amazing. You turn off these roads, like off a road like this one, and you're instantly on the gravel road, and not a good gravel road. It's, you know, like we're talking like a gravel road that maybe saw gravel like 7-8 years ago, when it was basically just a hard packed dirt and dust thing. You know, people don't realize just how big this country is, because you know, we have situations where it's like I've had people come, you know, and you know, come from England actually, and several from the States, and they'd come up here and they went like, oh, you know, where do you say we go to Montreal for dinner? I'd love to have some. I can't remember what they were looking for, but I had to look at them. I went like, okay, from my house, if I leave in the morning, it's a 7-hour drive to get to Montreal. And at this time of day, you're going to hit all the traffic in Toronto, so you're probably looking at 9. You'll be there for closing time. And they were like, whoa. I said, yeah, it's this, Canadians, when we talk distance, we don't talk like it's 100 kilometers away or 50 miles or, you know, whatever. Generally, what we talk is in hours. So how far is so-and-so's cottage? Oh, about 3-hour drive or 5-hour drive. You know, how far are you from London? Oh, about 5 hours. Like that's how Canadians tell distance, is because it's just, our country is so freaking big. It's that, you know, you just don't realize just how long it takes to drive someplace. Like Ontario, I am about an hour from Buffalo, New York, about 2.5-3 hours from Detroit, depending on traffic, and 7 hours from Montreal. And if I want to go to Manitoba, it's about I think it's like a 36-hour drive if I stay in Canada. You know, it's like Halifax, Nova Scotia, which is pretty far east, is, if I recall, the last time we did it, it was a 23-hour drive. And I think we did it once in 21 hours with 3 drivers. So it's like, this country's pretty big. I'm not saying, like, you know, I've been down to the U.S. as well. I've actually driven from where I live all the way down to Austin, Texas, and over to Phoenix, Arizona, and Las Vegas, Nevada, for was actually taking part in some sporting events. So I called it my world tour at the time when I first retired. And like Austin, Texas was took me a day to get to Alabama, and then I think it was around 3 o'clock the next day I actually hit Austin, Texas. And because I was going by myself, I was getting up at, like, 4 in the morning to miss a lot of the rush hour traffic in the major centers. But it was a cool drive, but it was a long, hard one, and it wasn't on a motorcycle. So anyways, that stoplight back there was I think it was Highway 24, which runs between Brantford and Cambridge. And we're now getting pretty close to Paris, Ontario. And again, this was still Governor's Road. And Paris is kind of a neat little town too. It's right on the Grand River. Ooh, that was a bug hit. You can tell we're out in the country. Side. Yeah, nothing there. Up in the hill there. Top of my head. Whatever it was pretty hard. There's a pretty gusty wind here. I'm actually getting blown all over my lane. Postal delivery vehicle. Oh, no, make that the meter reader. I'm going to assume that's probably an electrical meter because I can't imagine there's water out here. I haven't seen any fire hydrants, and I doubt there's actual natural gas for the houses. And we're coming into Paris now. And at this stoplight up here is the end of Governor's Road. Now it's pretty funny because at the stoplight is this road becomes Dundas Street going into Paris. Now where we started in Dundas at that light, when I turned right, that turned onto Governor's Road. If I had turned left, that was Dundas Street. So it's kind of weird. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed it. Not certain how many videos it was, but it was probably more than one. So anyways, DeathsStalker